Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are talking about a special day. We see it every year. Red hearts, sweet chocolates, and beautiful roses. People say, Happy Valentine's Day. But what is this day? Really? Why do we celebrate love on February 14th? Is it only for boyfriends and girlfriends? Or is there a secret story? Long ago, in the Roman Empire, there was a real man. At that time, love was not easy. In fact, the king said people could not get married. But one man did not listen. He helped people because he believed in love. This story starts in a dark prison. Today, you will learn the true story of Valentine. You will also practice your English. We use simple words and a great history. Do you want to learn English with true stories? Subscribe to our channel. We help you remember English. We make it unforgettable. It is the year 250 AD. You are living in the Roman Empire. It is the most powerful place in the world, but it is not a peaceful time. Rome is at war with many enemies. Many soldiers are dying. The emperor, Claudius II, is worried. He wants to make his soldiers stronger. He thinks he has the answer. He says, we must remove love. The emperor makes a shocking rule. He thinks married men are weak. Why? Because they think about their wives. They think about their children and their home. They do not want to die in war. They want to live for their family. So, the emperor bans marriage. No soldier is allowed to get married. No weddings and no families. To serve Rome, you must give up love. Imagine this world now. You fall in love and want to marry, but the government says no. Many young couples cry in secret. They cannot start a life together. They must live like strangers. People are very scared. They whisper about love in the dark. They avoid the soldiers. They stop dreaming about the future. Someone saw this pain. He believed love is never a crime. His name was Valentine. The empire was very quiet. There were no weddings. There were no love stories. But one man was not afraid. He was a priest in Rome. Valentine was a kind man. He believed in the power of love. He was not a king or a soldier. He was a man of peace. At that time, his religion was illegal. He took many risks every day. He believed marriage was special. He believed people had a right to marry. The emperor said, no marriage. But Valentine did not stay silent. He did not fight with weapons. He fought with his heart. One day, a young couple came to him. They were very afraid and sad. They said, Father Valentine, help us. The empire says we cannot marry. But we love each other. Valentine looked at the couple. He did not see enemies of Rome. He saw two hearts ready for love. He decided to help them. He chose love over the law. Valentine said yes. He agreed to help the couple that night. They met in a small church. There were only small candles for light. He married them in secret. No soldiers were watching them. Only God and love were there. But the story did not stop there. People began to whisper in the city, there is a priest who will help you. Many young lovers knocked on his door. They were desperate to be together. He married them in quiet gardens. He married them in dark caves. Sometimes he even married them in prison. Every wedding was very small. There were no rings or big parties. There was only love and Valentine. But in Rome, secrets do not last. Soon, the emperor's men heard the news. They began to watch and listen. They looked for the secret priest. One day, they caught Valentine. He was in the middle of a wedding. The young couple ran away, but Valentine stayed behind. Soldiers dragged him through the streets. People watched from their windows. Some were scared, and some were sad. They took him to a dark, cold prison. There, Valentine waited for his punishment. The emperor, Claudius II, heard the news. He was angry, but he was also curious. He asked to meet the brave priest. The emperor liked Valentine's bravery. He liked that Valentine was smart and calm. "Why do you break my laws?" Claudius asked. Valentine answered him quietly. "Love comes from God, not from laws." He said, "Love is the most important rule." The emperor was very angry. He gave Valentine one last chance. "Stop marrying people and follow me," he said. "Leave your faith and you can live." But Valentine said, "No." He did not shout or fight. "I prefer to die for love," he said. "I do not want to live in fear." The emperor decided his future. Valentine went back to prison to die. But his story did not end there. In that prison, a new love story began. The prison was very cold. The walls were made of hard stone. There was not much light inside. There was only one small window. A little sunlight came through the wall. Valentine sat alone in the dark. Valentine was no longer free. He had no church and no candles. He did not marry couples at night. There were only chains and silence. But in the dark, he was different. The other prisoners saw him. He did not cry or get angry. He did not complain about the emperor. Instead, Valentine prayed every day. He spoke kindly to the guards. He helped the other prisoners feel better. He was very calm. The prison could not break his spirit. The man in charge was a Roman officer. His name was Asterius. He knew Valentine was not a normal criminal. He knew Valentine married people in secret. The jailer was very curious. One day, he went to see Valentine. They talked for many hours. They talked about faith and truth. They talked about the power of love. The jailer saw that Valentine was good. He was not a dangerous or violent man. He was not trying to hurt Rome. He only wanted to protect love. The jailer had a young daughter. She was kind, but she was blind. She was blind from birth. She never saw the blue sky. She never saw her father's face. She never saw the sunlight or flowers. She lived her life in darkness. The jailer spoke to Valentine about her. "My daughter cannot see," he said. "If your God is real, can he help her?" This was a very important test. The jailer brought the girl to the prison. A young girl walked into the cold room. Her father held her hand to help her. There were chains on the walls. The priest sat there in silence. Valentine spoke to her very gently. He described the world with beautiful words. He told her about the blue sky. He explained what the ocean looks like. He told her about the color of roses. He spoke about birds and love. For the first time, she imagined light. She visited Valentine many times. They talked about hope and kindness. She began to believe in his God. She loved him like a very dear friend. They had a very deep connection. Inside the prison walls, a beautiful friendship was born. One day, the jailer asked for help. He asked Valentine to pray for his daughter. Valentine put his hands on her eyes. He said a very quiet prayer. Then, something impossible happened. The girl began to see. At first, she saw only light. Then she saw shapes and colors. She saw her father's face for the first time. She saw the sky for the first time. The prison was full of happy tears. Everyone felt great shock and joy. Was it a miracle? Is the story true? History cannot prove every detail, but people remembered this story for years. It changed everything. However, Valentine's future did not change. The emperor still said he must die. The date was February 14th. The time moved very slowly. Valentine knew he would die soon, but he was not afraid of death. He chose love a long time ago. He knew love was stronger than fear. The night before he died, he asked for paper. He asked for a little bit of ink. He wanted to write one last letter. It was for the jailer's daughter. The girl lived in darkness before, but now she could see the world. Valentine wrote her a short letter. It was a message of hope and faith. He wanted to say goodbye to her. At the bottom, he wrote 4 simple words. He signed it, "From your Valentine." He did not know these words would live. He did not know they would travel far. He did not know about the future. Millions of people now use those words. They write them on cards with hearts. For him, it was just a final act of love. It was a final act of kindness. The next morning was February 14th. It was around the year 269 AD. Valentine walked out of his cell. There was no music and no party. There were only soldiers and silence. The soldiers killed the brave priest. He was a man who married lovers. He was a prisoner who helped a blind girl. He believed that love was special. They buried his body in the ground, but his story did not die with him. Great stories grow and travel. These stories change our history. Valentine was gone and buried. He died for what he believed, but something strange happened. His name did not disappear. People remembered him forever. His name began to grow quietly. Then it grew very loud and forever. The man who died in prison became a symbol for love. After February 14th, 269 AD, people began to share his stories. They talked about the secret weddings. They talked about the girl who could see. They remembered the final letter. From your Valentine. Families whispered these stories in secret. At that time, his religion was illegal, but the story was too powerful to hide. It spread from family to family. It traveled to many villages and cities. Couples remembered him when they married. They remembered him when they felt love. Then, everything changed in the world. In the year 313 AD, Emperor Constantine made a new law. Now, the religion was legal and safe. This changed the world forever. People built many new churches. Priests could now walk freely in the streets. Stories of brave men like Valentine were told openly to everyone. People did not forget Valentine. They remembered him as a hero. He gave his life for his faith. But Valentine was very special. He did not just talk about God. He protected love in secret. The church saw his good work. They put his name on a special list. He became Saint Valentine. There were other men named Valentine. One was a priest in Rome. One was a leader in a nearby city. Another was a teacher in Africa. But we remember the priest in Rome. His story has everything. It has love, a miracle, and a letter. This is the story people love. It is the story of his sacrifice. They buried him near a big road. It was in the north of Rome. Later, they built a church there. It was called the Church of St. Valentine. Over many hundreds of years, they moved parts of his body. Now, his relics are in many churches. You can find them across Europe. Even today, many churches have his relics. They are in Ireland, France, and the UK. People visit these places every year. They go there to say thank you. They thank him for protecting love. They thank him for starting a beautiful story. You might ask, why February 14th? Is it only the day that he died? Yes, that is part of the reason. The church chose this day to honor him, but there is another special reason. Long ago, people watched the birds. They believed birds found their partners in the middle of February. It was the mating season for birds. They started to build their nests, so people saw this as the time of love. Valentine became the symbol for this time. The church combined these two ideas. They joined his life with the love of nature. In the year 1300, a man made it famous. His name was Geoffrey Chaucer. He was a very famous English poet. He wrote a poem about birds and love. He wrote about choosing a partner on St. Valentine's Day. This poem connected love and nature. It made a beautiful picture of Valentine. After that, writers began to write. People wrote love poems and notes. These notes were called Valentines. They were written by hand with emotion. The tradition did not start with shops. It did not start with chocolates or bears. It started with simple words and letters. People shared their feelings in writing. They did what Valentine did in prison. The tradition grew across all of Europe. Different countries had different ways, but the message was always the same. Love is special and love is brave. Love is always worth protecting. People in France, England, and Spain began to celebrate romantic love. They remembered the priest from Rome. As time passed, people forgot the details, but the date stayed the same. February 14th is a day for love. It is a day for kind words. It is a day for brave hearts. This day belongs to a brave man. He died in silence for his beliefs, but he gave the world something big. He gave us the story of true love. In the Middle Ages, love was not public. Most people did not choose their partners. Marriages were arranged by families. Love was a quiet and hidden thing. But writers and poets changed that. They wrote stories about romantic love. They wrote about passion and feelings. Valentine's Day became a special day. It was the only day to share feelings. Lovers could finally say how they felt. They could not always meet in public, so they sent secret notes to each other. They left handmade gifts at doors. The tradition was quiet, but it grew. By the 1500s, the word Valentine was a symbol. It meant, I choose you. It meant, I have feelings for you. The oldest Valentine letter is from 1415. It was a message from a man named Charles. He was the Duke of Orleans. He wrote the letter to his wife. Charles was in a prison at that time. He was like St. Valentine in his cell. He wrote her a poem on February 14th. In the poem, he called her My Valentine. This was the start of a new tradition. That letter is still in a library today. It is in the British Library in London. By the 1700s, many people wrote letters. They folded the paper and used string. They did not buy anything from shops. They only wrote their true feelings. There was no pressure and no money. There was only love in their words. But soon, the world changed quickly. In the 1800s, machines were invented. Making paper became very cheap. Printing became very fast and easy. Valentine's Day was ready to grow. In the 1840s, a woman had a big idea. Her name was Esther Howland. She saw beautiful cards from Europe. She thought, I can sell these cards. She began to make many cards to sell. The cards had lace and nice drawings. They also had romantic poems inside. It became a very big business. People did not have time to write. They still wanted to show their love. So they started to buy the cards. Now, the day was a public celebration. By 1850, it was very famous in America. Stores began to sell many things. They had cards, red hearts, and envelopes. It was a simple start. But then, big companies saw a chance. They started making chocolates. They put them in heart-shaped boxes. They sold jewelry and perfume. They sold teddy bears and silk roses. Love moved from paper to products. In the 1900s, it became even bigger. Valentine's Day was everywhere. It was in schools and on the radio. Ads said, "Buy this for your Valentine." They said, "Show your love with flowers." Love became something to buy. This created two different reactions. First, many people loved it. It was an easy way to show love. Shy people could buy a card. They could buy a gift or a rose. Second, some people did not like it. They said the day was only about money. They said the true meaning was lost. They called it a marketing holiday. But one thing was very clear. The whole world wanted to celebrate love. Valentine's Day traveled far. It went beyond Europe and America. In Japan, women give chocolate to men. They do this on February 14th. 1 month later, it is White Day. Then, the men give gifts back. South Korea has a Black Day. This day is for people who are single. In India, young people love the day. They go on dates and give gifts. In Mexico, it is a day for friendship. It is for lovers and for best friends. In the Philippines, many couples marry. They have huge weddings on this day. Some countries banned the holiday. They did not like the Western style, but young people still celebrate quietly. They find their own ways to show love. Every country has different customs, but the message is always the same. Love is important, and love is brave. Love is always worth showing. The world changes every year. Many people buy cards instead of writing. But the most important thing is this. What do you feel in your heart? This day was never about money. It was never about expensive gifts. It started with a brave priest. He believed that love should be free. That truth is still alive today. But now, the day is also a business. In the USA, people spend a lot. They spend over $25 billion every year. Where does all that money go? They spend $2 billion on flowers. They spend $4 billion on jewelry. They spend $3 billion on chocolate. They even buy gifts for their pets. Many people buy toys for cats and dogs. Why did this happen? It happened because love sells. Companies know people want to be happy, so the whole world pays attention. Today, it is also about social media. People share couple selfies online. They make videos of their surprises. They post their how we met stories. They show unboxing videos of gifts. They make TikToks about love letters. Love is now a public story. We share our hearts with the world. You might not celebrate this day, but your phone will remind you. The holiday is everywhere now. But here is a very big question. Is this real love, or is it just social pressure? In the past, it was about feelings. Now, many people expect big gifts. Friends ask, "What are you doing?" They ask, "Did he buy you a gift?" People want to see photos online. They want to see public actions. This creates pressure for couples. They must prove their love with money. Single people can feel very sad. They might feel alone or invisible. This is a strange situation. Saint Valentine was a man of peace. His love was quiet and sacred. Now, people compare and compete, but this is not the full story. Valentine's Day is still special. It is more than just marketing. It touches something human in us. It is now a day for everyone. It is for friends and for family. It is a day to love yourself too. It is for everyone who matters to you. In Mexico, it is a day for friendship. They call it the Day of Love and Friends. In Finland, it is Friends Day. They celebrate all their friends. In schools, children give cards. They give a card to every classmate. No one is left out of the party. Everyone is included. In offices, co-workers give gifts. Children make cards for their parents. It is not only about romance now. It is about a deeper connection. Anyone you care about is a Valentine. It is now a global celebration. It is a huge business and a story. From old Rome to Instagram today. From poems to digital gift cards, the journey of this day is very big. But now, let us stop for a moment. Let us think about the truth. What does this day really mean? Forget the ads and the stores. What does it mean for your heart? What does it mean for your life? We see roses, gifts, and chocolate. But these things are only symbols. They are not the start of love. Love does not come from money. Love does not come from big gifts. It does not come from likes online. Love is not something you can buy. It is something you give and build. It is something you feel and fight for. That is what Valentine did long ago. Valentine did not give flowers. He gave his life for others. He did not make a video for the world. He wrote one letter in a dark prison. From your Valentine were his words. That was the first true message. He chose love over his own safety. This is the soul of February 14th. The Roman Empire tried to stop love. They tried to ban it and kill it. They had power, soldiers, and laws. But Valentine had faith in his heart. He believed love was inside the person. You cannot arrest or kill love. It is not in a box of chocolates. It is inside of you. That is why we still say his name. We still say, "Be my Valentine." We celebrate because love never dies. You do not need a partner to be happy. You do not need dinner or roses. You only need to have love in your heart. You can still celebrate this day. You can call your parents. Tell them, "I love you." Hug your child today. Say, "You make my life better." Send a message to an old friend. Say, "I miss you and I care." Forgive someone who hurt you. Forgive yourself, too. Look in the mirror and be kind. Love is not just about romance. Love is care and connection. It is kindness in a difficult world. It is a very brave thing to do. You do not need permission to love. You only need one thing. You need a heart that wants to share. That is the most important part. Flowers die and chocolates melt. Jewelry can break or be lost. People forget social media posts. But some things stay forever. Like the letter you wrote by hand, like the time you helped a friend, or the words you said in a hard time. That is what real love looks like. Real love is not always loud. It is not always perfect or beautiful, but it is always very powerful. It is the love that started it all. Long ago, a priest helped two lovers. He did this in a quiet, secret place. Before this video ends, I want to say something to you. Do not wait for flowers. Do not wait for someone to make you feel special. This day is not only for couples. Valentine's Day is about choosing love. Choose to love your parents and friends. Choose to love the people who help you. And most of all, choose to love yourself. If no one buys you flowers, buy them for yourself. If no one writes to you, write to your future self. If no one hugs you, be kind to your own heart. You are a very important person. You are enough, just as you are. You are a miracle to someone. One day, you will be someone's forever. So, do not just celebrate love. Be the reason someone believes in love. Again, give a smile, a message, or a memory. Let it come from real love, not from pressure. Because love does not live in gifts. Love lives inside of you. If this story touched your heart, please like this video. If you learned something new today, please share it with a friend. If you believe in real love, subscribe to our channel. We share more beautiful stories here. They help your heart and your English. Happy Valentine's Day to you, from my heart to yours.